It's Tuesday, May 27th. In the headlines, Bank of Jamaica cuts interest rates again, urges banks to lower lending costs. In business news, Finance Minister Favour Williams believes banks will act in good faith regarding lending rates. Regionally, Barbados opens Regional Disaster Hub. And in sports, tributes pour in for late former midfielder Hugh Howell. This is the news on PBC Jamaica. I'm Simone Absalom Gale. The Bank of Jamaica is once again calling on commercial banks to pass on lower interest rates to their customers. This comes after another cut in the central bank's policy rate, the latest signal that borrowing costs should start falling. Governor of the Bank of Jamaica, Richard Biles, addressed the matter while speaking at a quarterly press brief recently. Denita Rodney has the details.
Effective May 21, 2025, the Bank of Jamaica reduced its policy rate by 25 basis points from 6% to 5.75%. This is the rate paid on overnight deposits from banks, and it strongly influences how much you pay to borrow. This marks the fifth rate cut since last year, totaling a 125 basis point drop. Yet, Bank of Jamaica Governor Richard Biles says many borrowers haven't felt the benefits yet.
We will certainly be expressing to the banks that this rate cut, which is coming even before the Fed has given consideration to a cut, that we see this as a signal, a powerful signal to them that we want rates to chug down.
Governor Biles says commercial banks have been slow to adjust their lending rates, and he plans to meet with them soon to address the delay.
We are not satisfied with the transmission system, and we've said this at many of our meetings and on other occasions also. And we are working to have that fixed, but it takes a little while to get what needs to be done to make that transmission system more responsive. But you can be assured that we are working on it.
He also highlighted that many borrowers took out loans when rates were higher, and they deserve relief now.
Those customers, I think, are eligible for review of their rates because we have cut rates now cumulatively 1.25% from the high of 7%. So we are going to be meeting with the commercial banks, and I'm saying to the public that we think the conditions are there for the commercial banks to look at those loans that experience an increase or that were put on at a higher rate than their other loans. Look at those and see whether you cannot give some relief to your customers. Let me say, they are your customers. I'm speaking to the commercial banks. Can you give them some relief?
The BOJ says it's ready to adjust policy again if needed, whether to control inflation or support growth. But for now, the message is clear. It's time for banks to pass on these rate cuts and make borrowing more affordable for Jamaicans. Reporting for the news on PBCJ, I am Denita Rodney.
Time is running out for taxpayers looking to clear their debt with big savings. The Tax Administration Jamaica is reminding the public that the extended Special Arrears Settlement Program will end in just 1 week. The SASP gives delinquent taxpayers a chance to settle their outstanding principal taxes while getting major relief on interest rates, penalties, and surcharges. As of May 16, TAJ says the extended program has brought in $3.4 billion, pushing total collections under SASP to $14.4 billion since it launched. In addition, over $5 billion in interest, Penalties and surcharges have been removed from taxpayer accounts. Despite that progress, TAJ says there is still over $120 billion in arrears on the books. TAJ is encouraging all eligible taxpayers to act now before the May 31 deadline. You can visit www.jamaicatax.gov.jm, call 888-TAX-HELP, or email taxhelp@taj.gov.jm for support. Again, the deadline for the extended SASP is May 31, just a few days away. TAJ is encouraging all eligible taxpayers to take advantage while there is still time. Bullying is the repetitive, intentional hurting of one person or group by another person or group, where the relationship involves an imbalance of power. Crystal House Jamaica has launched an anti-bullying program. Social worker Sandria Watkis says sometimes the bullies themselves do not know what they're doing, and that is part of the reasoning behind the program. She was speaking on the Jamaica Info Services Get the Facts show. Ms. Watkis Madden says self-reflection exposed her past infractions.
I would love to call people names. So as soon as I hear their name, I would find something else to match it and call them name, and persons who don't like it. And that went on for years until I was exposed to bullying, in fact, what it was and what it can do. And I was like, oh my God.
That's what I was doing.
That's what I was doing. So when I start working at Crystal House and I observed the behaviors of the kids, I was saying to myself, is it possible that they don't know that they're actually hurting people?
She says bullying can have short and long-term effects.
He informed me that, hey, one of our students tried to kill herself last night.
Because of this?
Because of another student who keep bullying her. So that's the furthest it can go, somebody take their life. It is really serious. Other effects are persons not being able to function at school, people not eating well, not sleeping well, people not understanding their emotion or can't process their emotion well because the only thing that is present is fear.
A UNICEF study suggests that 9 out of 10 Jamaicans face bullies in primary and high school.
Grade 1.
Oh wow.
Yes. Grade 1. Babies. And they were very vocal and assertive and telling us the things that are happening. There are one student who has to carry Sweetie every single day for the leader, or else she will be excluded from activities. So we see the social bullying right there at grade 1.
She says Crystal House has developed a program that creates a safe space for those being bullied to speak out. The program also educates others about bullying and its impact.
We have some of our books, we have a whole lot of things, and we want to take it across the country.
The widespread misuse and overuse of antimicrobials in human health care, agriculture, and animal farming are fueling dangerous rise in drug-resistant pathogens worldwide. Antimicrobial resistance, AMR, poses a critical threat to countries across all income levels, but hits low and middle-income nations the hardest, where poverty and inequality worsen the crisis. Here's more from the Pan American Health Organization for this Living Healthy report.
Antimicrobial resistance, or AMR, is one of the most urgent global health threats. In 2019, drug-resistant bacteria caused over 1.27 million deaths and contributed to nearly 5 million more deaths. The Caribbean, like many regions, faces growing challenges, from delayed diagnosis to limited response capacity to address resistant infections. Thanks to the support of the UK government's Fleming Fund, 2 impactful projects are being launched in the Caribbean, strengthening AMR surveillance, response, and resilience across the region. At the heart of these efforts is collaboration. The Pan American Health Organization, the Caribbean Public Health Agency, CARPHA, and the UK Health Security Agency are working together with member states to ensure a regional, integrated, coordinated approach to tackling AMR. Led by PAHO and the WHO, the first project strengthens diagnostic capacity in 10 Caribbean countries, building national laboratories' capacities to detect resistant infections and respond faster while strengthening countries' AMR surveillance.
This project is a game changer. For the first time, we're equipping laboratories to do high-level testing and surveillance on their own soil.
The training and equipment have allowed us to provide quicker and more accurate results. That's critical for patient care.
This initiative will include some new technologies that will put the Caribbean a step ahead of the other countries in the region, and we will take the Caribbean as a pilot to help other countries in Latin America to improve their capacities too.
CARFA and the UK Health Security Agency are long-standing partners. Under this initiative, they have partnered to form the Caribbean Antimicrobial Resistance Alliance, or CARA. CARA aims to strengthen AMR surveillance and response at the regional level through the expansion of services, the establishment of CARFA's referral laboratories in Trinidad and Tobago, Jamaica and St. Lucia, and as regional AMR reference hubs. This will significantly improve the timelines of referral services for AMR diagnosis to all member states.
CARA is about strengthening the regional response to AMR while acknowledging the interconnectedness, porous borders, and travel dependence of the Caribbean. AMR is not a problem that can be tackled effectively in isolation. It's about sharing intelligence to improve health outcomes for everyone.
CARA strengthens regional coordination by anchoring AMR surveillance in 3 strategically located reference labs. These hubs will improve access to testing and data quality in the region.
Our goal is to build sustainable systems that promote data sharing, support good clinical decision making, and create lasting resilience to the threat of AMR. Ultimately, the work that we do today will lay the foundation for a healthier and more secure tomorrow.
Together, these 2 Fleming Fund-supported projects reflect the Caribbean's commitment to fighting AMR through science, systems, and solidarity. The region is stronger when it works as one.
Time now for the Business Report with Denise Williams.
Welcome to today's Business Report. I'm Denise Williams, here to bring you the stories shaping the financial world and guiding your journey to smarter business decisions. Let's dive into the top headlines. Chief Executive Officer of Boss Furniture, Omar Azan, says the Jamaican economy is in the worst position it has ever been and has blamed poor economic policies for the country's stagnant growth. Speaking Monday to Power 106, Mr. Azan stated, "Everything is going to start going haywire. And I'm going to tell you something, the government better call election quickly because the balloon is about to blow. The economy is in the worst position that I've ever seen it in my 30-odd years of business. The buying power is the weakest. Remittances are down. Tourism is struggling. Everything is struggling. And what are we doing? We're doing things to stifle the economy with our monetary policies coming from the Bank of Jamaica and the Ministry of Finance," Mr. Azan stated. Following a further reduction in the policy rate last week from 6% to 5.75%, Bank of Jamaica Governor Richard Biles and Finance Minister Favour Williams urged commercial banks to follow suit. And in its latest report on the Jamaica economy last week, the Planning Institute of Jamaica said the country grew by 0.8% in the March 2025 quarter, marking its exit from a technical recession. Finance Minister Fayval Williams believes that the Bank of Jamaica and the Ministry of Finance can influence the financial institutions to reduce lending rates offered to the public. You recall rates were at a low, way low, 0.25%. They moved all the way up from about 7%, and they have been coming down now. This is a very strong signal that the Bank of Jamaica is sending now with the reduction in overnight rate to banks. And I believe that as rates continue to move down, we will begin to see banks respond, she asserted. Minister Williams was speaking at a post-cabinet press briefing on Thursday. The BOJ lowered the cost of short-term borrowing by 25 basis points from 6 to 5.75%, which took effect Wednesday. Commercial banks have been slow to respond to the rate cuts, which has prompted calls for the Ministry of Finance to intervene. For the trading period ending May 26, 2025, these were the most actively traded stocks. Microfinance lender Dollar Financial Services Limited with 175,800,375 units traded, representing 92.64% of market sales volume. Toll road operator Trans-Jamaica Highway Limited with 4,255,460 units traded, representing 2.24% of market sales volume. Investment firm Sagicor Select Funds Limited Financial with 1,432,919 units traded, representing 0.76% of market sales volume. We now shift our focus to the Forex market rate set by the Bank of Jamaica. On May 26, 2025, the Bank of Jamaica reported that US $43.12 billion was purchased and US $43.35 million was sold to Forex traders. Forex traders earned $2.96 per dollar, selling the US at $160.23 and buying the US at $157.54. The Canadian dollar netted Forex traders $7.10 per transaction, with selling at $116.82 and buying at $109.72. The British pound yielded Forex traders $9.08 in profits, with selling at $216.45 and buying at $207.37. For our credit report tip of the day, if you've been taught that credit is only for emergencies or that it's dangerous to use, it's time to shift your mindset. Credit isn't the enemy, it's a tool. And when used strategically, your credit score becomes a passport to property ownership, passive income, and long-term wealth. In fact, your credit can help you do what many people believe is impossible. You can buy real estate with little to no cash out of pocket. So here are some ideas. First, you can use business credit to purchase under a limited liability company. So you can start building your business credit so that you can fund investments outside of your personal name. You can also look into what we call portfolio lenders. So smaller banks may fund you with more flexible terms based on your credit worthiness. And that wraps up today's business report. I'm Denise Williams, reminding you that every financial decision is a step toward your future. Until next time, stay focused, stay informed, and keep striving for success. See you soon.
In regional news, a major boost to the Caribbean's disaster response. A new state-of-the-art emergency hub has officially opened in Barbados. The facility, which stakeholders are calling a game changer, will support the World Food Programme's efforts to respond faster and more efficiently to natural disasters and humanitarian crises across the region. The complex was built to close critical supply chain gaps exposed during the COVID-19 pandemic. CBC News' Anesta Henry was there and filed this report.
This 2,500 square meters of storage space is empty now, but in the coming months, it will be filled with critical supplies that will be deployed in the event of a natural disaster or humanitarian crisis in the Caribbean. It's called the Caribbean Regional Logistics Hub and Center of Excellence and is strategically located at the Grantley Adams International Airport to enable a rapid response. This facility was established in November 2024 by the United Nations World Food Programme in partnership with the government of Barbados and the Caribbean Disaster Emergency Agency. In addition to storing pre-positioned emergency supplies, it will also facilitate enhanced logistics coordination and specialized technical assistance for emergency logisticians for SEDEMA and its member states. Prime Minister Mia Amor-Motley says the facility is key for disaster preparedness and response in the region.
And this is also about positioning Barbados, leveraging our geography. And I said then geography matters. And because Barbados is the most easterly, a judgment was made that given the fact that we are less likely to be hit than most, this is probably the safest place. If you have to wait on stuff to come from Panama, that's 1,200 miles away. If you have to bring stuff from Miami, 1,500 miles away. So having Barbados located along with the establishment of the fact of that SEDEMA has established itself here as its headquarters. The Caribbean Institute of Meteorology and Hydrology is there in Husbands in St. James. This is just a perfect conclusion to what would otherwise be systems in there, ensuring now that it is not just high level and academic and policy, but it is also now about making sure that food can get to people.
Prime Minister Motley adds the facility will also play a critical role in helping countries facing humanitarian crisis.
You heard me speak about the utterly devastating situation in Haiti, where more than 1 million people have been displaced in the recent times, and where almost half the population is deemed to be suffering from food insecurity. For us in Barbados, that is a concept that we are not even familiar or aware with.
The logistics hub is in partnership with Canada, co-funded by the European Union, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, USAID, and the World Food Programme USA.
Sustainable development cannot be achieved without reparatory justice. That's the strong message from Zakia Uzuma-Wadada, Executive Chair of the Emancipation Support Committee. She made the statement Sunday at the launch of the 2025 Pan-African Festival in Trinidad and Tobago, an event honoring emancipation and African Liberation Day. TTT News reports.
The theme of the 2025 Pan-African Festival, TT, is Shaping Sustainable Futures Through Reparatory Justice, and according to Executive Chair of the Emancipation Support Committee, Zakia Uzuma-Wadada, while a part of the festival entails a celebration, it goes much deeper than that.
We use the festival to address all of the different aspects of our development. And it has been dubbed the greatest celebration of Africa. And I want us to understand the festival as a continuation of our work. It is not the only thing that we do. It continues the work. It's our flagship. It's a flagship project, yes, because it garners the most attention and brings together masses of people. But we continue to work all through the year.
The feature speaker of the launch was chairperson of the Trinidad and Tobago National Committee on Reparations, Dr. Claudius Fergus. His presentation was done under the theme, The African Renaissance, Reparations and Sustainable Development.
The first issue I believe they should address is the repayment of the 150 million gold francs ransom with interest exacted from the Haitian people. There are many more examples I could mention, but I would dare to say that CARICOM's greatest achievement to date has been the recommitment of the African Union to the demand for reparation, and not only for the continent, but as big sister to the global reparation movement. Together, we will achieve the final victory we seek.
In sports, we kick off with football. The British High Commission in Jamaica met with the Jamaica Football Federation to show support for the Reggae Boys ahead of their participation in the Unity Cup, scheduled for May 27 and May 31 at the G-Tech Stadium in Brentford, London, United Kingdom. Jamaica will face off against Trinidad and Tobago on Tuesday, May 27th. The winner of that match will face either Ghana or Nigeria in the finals on the 31st. A third-place playoff will also take place that day. The Unity Cup this year is a landmark celebration of Caribbean and African talent and Commonwealth unity, bringing together national teams from both regions. British High Commissioner to Jamaica, Judith Slater, welcomed the collaboration with the JFF.
This is a fantastic initiative to celebrate UK-Jamaica friendship, partnership, sporting rivalries, and we really hope that this is a fantastic tournament, and I'm wanting to wish the Reggae Boys every success, and I really hope they come back with that cup.
Several Reggae Boys, both Jamaica-based and overseas-based players, including those already familiar to UK audiences through their roles in the English leagues, are expected to participate in the Unity Cup. JFF President Michael Ricketts also lauded the partnership with the British High Commission.
The British High Commissioner, she seems so very excited, especially the fact that the games will be played in Brentford, and that's where her place of residence is. In fact, she says she could walk from her home to the venue. So we of course, she is endorsing the JFF's participation. Our only disappointment is that England is not a part of the Unity Cup. But as it is structured, 2 African nations and 2 Caribbean nations will participate.
Meanwhile, General Secretary of the JFF, Dennis Chung, outlined the importance of the Unity Cup.
It's a great way to participate globally in football and also to prepare us for the upcoming World Cup qualifiers. The endorsement by the UK High Commissioner is actually exceptional and something that we're very pleased about. Hopefully next time the UK will be playing in the Unity Cup and we will be participating, but we're very happy about both participating and also the endorsement from the UK High Commission.
Young Reggae Boys defender Stephen Young shared his joy in attending the tournament.
I'm super excited to play in the Unity Cup, not only because of the fact that it's my first time going to England, but it's a great opportunity to see players like Mikel Antonio and representing my national team.
We stay with football as condolences are flooding in for Hugh Howell, the former midfielder widely regarded as one of the best leaders in local football. The 39-year-old tragically collapsed and died on Sunday after playing a scrimmage match. Howell, who retired in 2022, had a distinguished 17-year professional career, primarily with Waterhouse, where he helped secure the Jamaica Premier League title in the 2005-2006 season. He later played for Humble Lions, leading the team to 3 consecutive playoff semi-finals. Coaches Donovan Ducky and Liebert Halliman both hailed the late midfielder as one of the best leaders in local football. And that's the news on PBCJ. You can follow us on our social media platforms at PBCJamaica. Thanks for watching.